It has been a bit slow in the recent past, so we'll check the Discord. Maybe it's on there. Scroll. There it is. So the chat's up, stream's up, and the audio is working as it should. Fantastic. So, hello everyone, and welcome to round 5 of the PlayStation Pacific Elite Championship here on Race Spec Esports. I'm Lane Everingham, your commentator for this event, and this time we're racing at Circuit pour Ricard for the French Grand Prix. This 5.84 kilometer 15 turn circuit was built in 1969 and it has one incredibly unique characteristic, as you might have seen on the loading screen. It has an enormous amount of tarmac runoff. More than any other racetrack on the Formula One calendar. So if a driver makes a mistake, there is plenty of room to try and fix it. The circuit has 2 DRS zones that lead into turn 1 and the best overtaking spot, the Mistral chicane of turns 8 and 9. As I've just seen Powerside has rejoined the session. Good-o. We should have 19 cars for the start of this race. Drivers will have to be mindful of the inside curb at turn 2, getting on the power at the exit of turn 6. The flat-out right-hander of Senior, turn 10, especially if it's raining, and I can see at the moment in qualifying it isn't. And the reducing radius left-hander of turn 12, that's always a tricky corner to get right. In the virtual world, Circuit pour Ricard isn't a circuit well known for great racing. Usually, it's rather a dull race, with the 2021 French Grand Prix being an exception to that. In the virtual world, however, I know this circuit is capable of making some awesome racing. So hopefully we do get to see some tonight. Now before we focus on this qualifying session here in front of us, there is a bit of news to go through first from last week's race at Silverstone. I'm sure you remember, if you did watch the stream, it was long. We had a few stoppages in between that took forever to sort out, but eventually we got there. There was a bit of drama throughout the race though, and there were penalties handled out and penalties removed. One of which is Pump 46. He got a 5-second time penalty, which I'm pretty certain we saw while entering the pit lane. He got a severe collision penalty, which was absolute rubbish. He got that 5-second time penalty removed, which means he will jump up from P4 onto the podium to finish P3. Sildefort, however, well, he's copped 10 seconds and 2 penalty points for 2 pit lane infringements. As a result, he would drop from P5 to P9 in the final results. Keeg Dug, who is yet to go out and set a time, he tried to get a penalty removed. The stewards deemed that there wasn't enough evidence to try and overrule the penalty, so no further action was applied. And the collision between Plebs and BPV8 resulted in BP getting a 10-second time penalty and 2 penalty points. Not that it really matters because he finished in last place anyway, so yeah, it doesn't really affect him too much. Looking in the Drivers' Championship, Ferrari Pro is leading on 87 points over ACW, who had a technical failure at the end of that Silverstone race, which ultimately cost him the win. ACW is on 76 points, 11 behind Ferrari Pro. Plebs is third on 64, followed by Pump on 62, then Roscoe Am on 59. Sildefort on 45 is next in P6, followed by Alex Pato on 41, then BPV8 on 39. Bags Adele on 35, and Gilles on 25 rounds out the top 10. Looking at the constructors, Alfa Romeo are leading on 135 points, followed by Ferrari on 106. 1 point behind is McLaren in P3, followed by Mercedes on 97. Red Bull are 5th place on 51, followed by Haas on 44, Aston Martin on 42, AlphaTauri on 29, Alpine on 14, and Williams on 11. That's pretty much it in terms of news. We can now focus on qualifying. Hello, KD, and thank you very much, Ferrari Pro. Both dry sessions, which is fantastic. Oh, you're at a pub, KD. Oh, went out to see the Supercross. Well then, this is going to be a fairly nice night for you then. Got to see some motorbikes. You get to see some guys race around this ginormous tarmac lake in Le Castellet. Pretty much the exact opposite of a supercross course. As Metz here is going to complete a flying lap. He's on the medium compound tyre, as you can see. Opens DRS. He'll come up towards the line, which was shifted in 2020? I think in 2019. Used to be way further back, just after the final corner. Now it's sort of where the start line is. So it's a bit like Albert Park, where the control line and the start line are the same thing. Rude here is coming around the final corner, turn 15. Arguably the most important corner on the circuit. It will either be it or turn 6. As Rude crosses the line, jumps up to P6 with a 32 flat. Currently 1.5 seconds off the pace. Ferrari Pro here getting ready. He's just started his outlap. Plebs is coming around turn 10, senior. One of the few named corners that I know on the racetrack. The other being the Mistral chicane of turns 8 and 9. And the Mistral straight that comes before it. That's about it in terms of my knowledge of circuit Paul Ricard. The other bit of knowledge I know is that this circuit was financed during its construction by a man named Paul Ricard, who is a pastis magnate. And pastis, it's an alcohol, so this track is literally built on alcohol. It's amazing. Why did an alcohol magnate decide to build a racetrack? According to him, he wanted a challenge, so he built this. As Pump here is about to start a flying lap, right on board, you give you a tour of the racetrack. Down the pit straight, towards turn 1, on the brakes, 4th gear, chucks it in. Around turn 2, be careful of that inside curb. You can very easily unsettle the car, but Pump, he remains unfazed. Around turn 3, using all the inside curb. Around turn 4, it's a very tight right-hander of turn 5, 2nd gear. Short shifting, running wide, not invalidating though. Important that you get this corner right, turn 6, because turn 7 is flat out. Need to try and carry as much speed through turn 7 as possible, as to maximise the straight line speed down the Mistral straight. Into the chicane, turn 8, 4th gear. Brings it down to 3rd gear for turn 9. Exits the chicane. No, dear. Ow. Well, he didn't quite exit the chicane, did he? There we go. The track baring its teeth. Pump will have to go back into the pit lane and get that front wing fixed. Plebs, he's going to have another crack at a flying lap. He's on the soft compound tyre. If I remember correctly, chat, ideal strategy is medium to hard around here. Isn't it? Pretty sure it is. Around turn 1. A bit of a distraction there for Plebs. He won't be too happy about that, but it happens. Coming through turn 3. Nice and wide on the entry, using a lot of the curb through the complex. Around turn 5. Exiting turn 6, you can see they're being very careful on the power, trying to not lose the back end. It's critical that you don't lose the back end. If you do, you just lose so much time. Not just on corner exit, but down this straightaway as well. Through turn 8, then turn 9, down to 4th gear. He's using a gear higher compared to Pump. If you add that and the soft tyre, he's got plenty of grip on corner exit, compared to Pump, who completely lost control. Through senior, turn 10. Absolutely flat out in the dry. That corner becomes a total nightmare in the wet. Exiting turn 11, I love this corner. I love turn 11. Plebs didn't love it though. Around turn 12, this is a really tricky corner to get right. It's a very, very late apex. You need a nice wide entry. And as a result, some drivers might try and send it down the inside as Plebs goes back into the pit lane. And this edition came about in 2020 as well, I think. The pit lane entry used to be at the exit of the final corner. But fortunately, they changed that. As Gilles here is about to start a flying lap. Quite a few drivers still yet to set a lap time. We're halfway through the session, and only 10 cars have set a time. That isn't a really good sign. You could create a track layout, KD. It'd probably be more interesting than a Tilkedrome, I'm sure. But I wouldn't want to look at this track for too long, KD, if you're not sober. Give you a proper headache. With all the brightly coloured lines dotted around the circuit. Hillers through the Mistral chicane. Third gear, nice and easy on the exit. Still amazed to see BP is at the top of the table. Oh, I see. I was going to say, did he set that time on a set of mediums? If he did, that was rather impressive. But no, he did that on a set of softs. That does explain a bit. I believe ACW was the fastest guy on mediums. Yes, he is. Hillers exiting turn 12, around turn 13. Got a bit of traffic. They get out of the way well. Around the penultimate corner, turn 14, into the critical turn 15. Need to get this pretty spot on to complete the lap. Whoa. Bit of wiggling going on there. Gets out of the way. I'm guessing he's indicating to the traffic he wasn't too impressed. Well, he goes second quickest with a 29.9. BP making his way through the first sector. See what the clock says. Then we'll have a geese at Ferrari Pro. Though I think Ferrari Pro is on an in lap. But BP is down by a tenth and a half in the first sector. Yeah, I think he's on an in lap. Bags, are you on an in lap? Yes, you most certainly are. As Roscoe jumps up to P2 with a 29.883. He's missed out on pole position by about 25 thousandths or so, 26 thousandths. Pretty close. And BP is well down in the middle sector. Silderford. I think he's just completed a flying lap. But we'll double check. See what the first sector says. Yeah, he's down by a second. Black Moon. Our driver of the day from Silverstone. Doesn't appear to be on a flying lap. He completely missed the apex of turn 5 and then some. See what other drivers are up to. Just Sambon doesn't appear to be on a flyer. I think Jack just did one. Rude, he's 3/10 down. He's on a flying lap. Ghost Rider up by 6/10 in the middle sector. He's set to improve big time, but he needs to find a whole second to try and overtake Rude. Down the main straight towards the control line. Crosses the line. Does improve by 6/10. Stays so at the bottom of the leaderboard out of all the times set. Now someone's vaulted up the leaderboard. I think that might have been Chip. I think. Pretty certain it was Chip who vaulted up to 7th there. Andre yet to set a lap time. Same with Plebs, he's just begun a flying lap here. Couple more corners for Andre to negotiate. Around turn 14. Try and hug this as best you can. Try and open up the final corner. And he misses the apex by quite a bit. Gets a pretty decent exit though. Got plenty of traction down. He'll cross the line to go 14th quickest with a 31.3. Mr. Race Spec. He's making his way through the chicane. 4th gear, gets on the power. Got sideways there. In a fairly similar fashion to Pump, actually, when we saw him attempt a flying lap. Alright, around turn 11. I love this corner. You send it in deep. It's just a very fast, very aggressive corner. And there's a bit of camber on the exit, which helps rotate the car, trying to help you carry as much speed as possible. I love it. It's one of my favourite corners in F1. Around turn 14. Have to try and hug the inside. Open up the hairpin. Fairly tidy run there from Plebs. Keeps the car nice and straight. Up towards the line. Plebs will do a 30.4. Jumps into the top 10. Pretty good effort there. So he's inside the top 10 on the medium compound tyre. You compare that to everybody else. BP and ACW are the only two other drivers to have set times on the mediums and are in the top 10. Look at BP's time. That is a mega lap on the mediums. A 29.9. Compare that to Plevs, who did a 30.4, and ACW, who's effectively done a 30.7. 30.693 to be exact. Silderfort getting ready. Rude just coming out of turn 2. He's getting ready as well. Coming towards the business end of qualifying. See the drivers send it. Oh well, we'll find out, Broke Vegan, whether a Ferrari is on pole at the end of the session. Though certainly it looks like it. But it's pretty tight at the top. 1/10 of a second separates the top 3. And P4 and 5 and P6 aren't too far behind that pole time. So it's pretty close between the top 6 as Silderfort spins. Well, thankfully he put the rear into the wall. Hopefully that didn't give him any damage. That's a bit embarrassing. But you're not the first time someone has spun on a outlap. Definitely won't be the last. But with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left in qualifying, Silderfort will begin his final flying lap. There is traffic. We've got the 2 Ferraris and a Mercedes-Benz, I believe it's Pump, who are on an outlap. Hopefully they get out of the way around turn 2. Or very wide on the exit, but fortunately he didn't cop a warning. Into turn 3 as Powerside has left the session. Around turn 4. Then turn 5. We'll get rid of the tyre detail just to try and open up some space. Up by 0.5 of a second. Not a bad improvement to the first sector. He needs to find 2 whole 10s to try and challenge Plevs and P8. A whole heap of more time to try and challenge pole position. Through the Mistral chicane. There goes the Ferrari. I believe it's Ferrari Pro? No, it's Kid. It's Kid. Middle sector says he's down on his personal best. Not by much though. See if he can find any time in this final sector. Round turn 11. Sending it in nice and deep. Short shifts to find traction. Around turn 12. He needs that late apex. He's got it. As Plez retires at turn 1. Hopefully that won't hinder anybody. Around the final corner comes Silderfort. Has he found any time in this final sector? He uses all the curb on the outside just to try and open up the hairpin. Silderfort goes up to 7th, improving by almost half a second in that final sector. What an effort from the Singaporean driver. As Ferrari Pro goes back into the pits. So he won't be setting a second flying lap here at the end of the set. It's session over for Ferrari Pro. Oh dear, so he must have got into trouble on his outlap. I thought the yellow flags just came out because he was pulling off to the side or something. I was too busy watching Silderfort. He must have made a mistake. Or maybe he got hit by someone. I don't know. I'm sure he will inform me. Through turn 3, then turn 4 comes Bags Liddell. What does the first sector say? He's up by 1/10.5. What about Roscoe? It's a fairly similar story for him too, as he heads on to the Mistral Straight. There's an Alpine right in front. Not sure who that could be. We'll find out probably in a few moments. Around turn 8, into the Mistral chicane. It's Metz in P14, exiting the chicane. Gets great traction down onto the road. What does the middle sector say? For the Alfa Romeo driver, he's up by 3.5 of a second. Bags, he's up by 3.5 tenths too. It's going to be awfully close towards the top, I reckon, if both Roscoe and Bags successfully set their final flying laps. Exiting turn 11, around turn 12, you can see that nice wide entry, hitting the apex late, getting on the power early, around turn 13. Into the penultimate corner, turn 14, Pump jumps up to pole with a mega lap at 29.497. What does Roscoe have in response here? He'll get a bit of a tow here from Metz. He'll cross the line to take pole position away only just by 0.5 of a second, and Bags can't do it. He only does a 29.7 effectively. He goes third fastest. But there we go. Bit over 0.5 of a second separating the top two at the end of qualifying. But it's Roscoe Arm on pole. Pump in P2, Bags in P3. Soft hard, you reckon, Rock Boy? I see Ferrari playing. I see. Well, there we are, the end of quali, and it's Roscoe Arm on pole. Look at that, 67 thousandths of a second between the top two. Bags in third, Ferrari Pro in fourth, Hillez in fifth. BP V8 P6 on the medium compound tyre. He'll be someone to look out for over the course of the race. Silderfort in 7th, Chip in 8th, Plevs in 9th on the mediums, then Andre P10. ACW 11th and Keeg in 12th. Metz in 13th, Black Moon 14th. Josh Sambon in 15th, followed by GeForce Zach, Rude, Ghost Rider and Powersight, who did not set a lap time over the course of qualifying. There we are, 3 seconds separating the whole field at the end. That's not too bad. Now it's time for the race itself. Now it should be dry, according to Ferrari Pro at least, it should be dry, which is great. Dry racing is just a million times better than wet weather racing. No obvious signs of cloud cover. Oh, I think there is a little bit. That's okay, the rain should stay away. Now, considering what Wogboy said, and I trust Wogboy's word pretty well, one stop, definitely the way to go here. So the soft runners, they'll likely do a soft hard. The medium runners will likely do a medium hard, from the sounds of things. Maybe we might see one or two try and stretch it to a medium soft, but I don't know if the soft tire is worth it. I suppose we'll find out. Clock running down. Get the formation lap underway. We'll see what everybody is thinking. What do we think, chat? How many people outside the top 10 will start on the soft tyre? I reckon at most it will be one. At the absolute most, I reckon. Let's see. Oh, no one. I said at most was one and I was wrong. Oh, well, I was right. In a way. Because it's under one, it's none. So, top 5 starting on the soft compound tyre, and BP the first on the mediums. Silderfort and Chip, P7 and 8 are starting on the soft tyre, then Plevs and P9 on the mediums. And Andre will start P10 on the soft tyre. ACW 11th is the first driver on the hard compound tyre, followed by Key Jude on the mediums, then Metz on the mediums as well in 13th. Black Moon _ 14, starting from 14th, is on the medium compound tyre, just Sambon on the medium as well. GeForce Zach and CBF Rude, starting from P16 and 17, they're both starting on the hard compound tyres. Ghost Rider P18 on the mediums, and Powersight's AI is starting on the mediums. So there we are. Unfortunately, the lobby hasn't broken with Powersight's disconnect, so. So we've got a fairly healthy mix. There's the predicted tyre stop strategy, so it's a 2-stop. I reckon what Roscoe Arm is going to try and do is stretch that to a soft medium. I reckon that's what he's going to try and do. And the pit lane here just takes too long. It's a very slow pit lane. I think it's only 60 kilometers an hour at France, so it takes an eternity to go through. So if it's green flag from start to finish, I reckon Roscoe Arm and a couple of the other soft runners might try and push, stretch the tyres out to soft to medium. Safer bets going soft to hards. Right here. Waiting on Power Sights AI to line up. Yeah. We can get this underway. 27 laps lay in front of us here at Circuit Paul Ricard. 19 drivers are lined up, ready to go. We have 10 red lights. And we are underway here in Le Castellet. Roscoe Arm gets a half-decent start. So does Pump. It's a drag race down towards turn 1. Who's going to be leading the field out of the opening corner? Oh, it's tight, but it's Roscoe Arm who leads, followed by Pump. Then Bags, who's got BPVA trying to draw alongside. Got yellow flags out. That's Andre. He has dropped down from 10th to 19th at the opening corner. Around turn 4. Into turn 5, BP has the inside line. Ferrari Pro gives him enough room. It's fairly tight on the exit. BP trying to force his way through. He doesn't. He's into 4th. Into the Mistral straight for the first time. Fairly tame start, minus whatever happens with Andre. Plebs moving to the inside, trying to break the toe. Hilles doesn't really mind. He's got Chip right on his gearbox as they head towards the chicane. Into it they go. All of them line astern, not really in a position to fight just yet. They're just minding their own business at the moment. Look at them. All in a perfectly long single car file. Around Signet, turn 10. And around turn 11 as Metz runs wide. And, someone else runs wide just behind. It was Josh Sambin, I think. And ACW is down to 14th, so he got a shocking start as well. So a few poor starts here and there. A few good ones too. So ACW down 3. Biggest loser is Andre down 9 as they head around the final corner to complete the first lap. G4 Zach up 3. Black Moon Metz and Keeg up 2 respectively. Hilles down 3. Plevs up 2. BP up 2 as well. Yeah, some good starts. Some not so good starts. For the most part, it's been a fairly undramatic first lap, which is great. It means everybody is still in the race. Everyone is still in the hunt. Into the Mistral straight. BP is close. It won't be close enough though, I reckon. Into turn 8. Just doesn't have the momentum to try and attack yet. Ferrari Pro just looming behind. Those soft tyres will still feel pretty good. Here he comes, down towards turn 10, looking to the inside. They're side by side through the right-hander. And Ferrari Pro, he has the inside line. They're still fighting at turn 11. And Ferrari Pro gets through on the exit. He's back to 4th. Oh, but BP fights back at the inside of turn 12. They're still side by side on the exit. And BP gets the position back. And a great little scrap between those two. And turn 14 into the final corner, turn 15. Andre makes up a position. He's into 17th. And then straight they go. No one beats Roscoe Arm's fastest lap. So he's well and truly the quickest car on the racetrack at the moment. Through turn 2. Down towards turn 3. Intervals are fairly evenly spread at this stage. The closest battle we got is between these two. As ACW overtakes G4 Zach for P13. Running wide is Bags Liddell at the exit of turn 6. All of these guys will have DRS, so we've got this huge DRS train from P1 all the way down to maybe P9 with Chip. Around turn 9 on the leaders. The BP and Plevs, they're in a really great position here. They're in the leading train, which is incredibly important, but they're also on the medium compound tyre. What it means is that they can extract the full potential out of this medium tyre. Get the most out of this first stint, though Plevs Doesn't do himself any favours by running wide at the exit of turn 11. Ricard still quite close. Around the final corner. Running wide is Bags. Not getting a great run onto the main straight. Here comes the Haas. He's looking on the racing line. Bags not putting up too much of a fight. He slots into the slipstream of the Haas. Slots into 4th place. So BP is up to 3rd. Oh, and the Mercedes of Bags doesn't get a great run through turn 2 either. Plebs and Silderfort changing places. I think Silderfort made a mistake. You can see the gap between Plebs and Ferrari Pro is quite big. That was a genuine overtake with no one making any mistakes. That gap shouldn't be that big. So I reckon Silderfort made a mistake. That's sort of broken up the train a little bit, and here comes Ferrari Pro on Bags. Bags just letting him go, I think, into the chicane. Will really try to fight it as Black Moon goes into 11th place. Plebs has got a bit of work to do to try and catch up to this leading train. He really does need to. He can't race around there without DRS. He'll lose too much time to the leaders. Around turn 11. Lovely shot here. Looking at the whole corner. See the cars coming in and out as Josh Sandin overtakes Rude for P15. ACW and Metz are battling for 12th. Close, and I reckon he might have a go, because I don't think Ferrari Pro will have DRS here. We'll find out. Nope. Here comes Bags. He won't be close enough to attack. Might be able to have a go down the Mistral straight though. Through turn 1, then turn 2. Oh, the back end stepping! He's gone! He's gone! Oh dear. Just got on the throttle a little bit too much. Nice flick spin there. Be careful. Now he's down in 14th. That's turn 2. That is turn 2. Black Moon, ACW, battling for 10th place here. As Roscoe gets overtaken for the lead. Comp moves himself into the lead there. Takes first place. ACW takes 10th. So top 3 fairly close to one another. Better keep an eye on this for now. Exiting senior turn 10 around turn 11. Exiting this wonderful sweeper. They head up towards the tricky turn 12. See how wide of an entry the drivers take. Try and carry as much speed into the corner. They need to hit an incredibly late apex. If they don't, they're quite vulnerable at the exit of 13. The exit of 13. Going through 13, I should say. Ooh. I think it was a bit of a lag spike I saw there, I think. And here comes Roscoe Arm. Whole heap of pace. He closed in incredibly rapidly. Exiting turn 2. Aerial shot here as BP tries to get alongside the Alfa Romeo, but Roscoe Arm is having none of it. Through turn 3, then turn 4. You can see these hypnotic lines that trace the racetrack. You might want to wear your 3D glasses, folks, because they're rather disorientating. And here comes BP. He's got a whole heap of steam underneath him. Whole heap of pace. He's looking to the inside. He's low on battery too. Oh, they're both closing in on pump, and BP boxes him in. And into second. A nice bit of racecraft there, just boxing Roscoe Arm in. Using the slow Mercedes of pump. There's a bit of a roadblock. Allowed himself to take that second place away from Roscoe Arm. Around turn 12. And that late apex. Through 13. BP closes in just a little bit. Just a couple hundredths. Couple thousandths here and there. And look how close he gets to the entry to this hairpin. Oh, and a missed apex there from Pub. And here comes BP. And there's a yellow flag out. I think that's Rude. Nope, it's Metz. The Williams and Alpine's dots are so similar. Oh, they're too similar. Really irritating. Into the pits comes Andre. Bring up the tyre graphic, see what he changes on to. Pump a 3-second time penalty, multiple warnings. He's working away. Bags made a pit stop as well, I failed to notice. He's on hard tyres now. Around turn 6. I reckon Key Dude will have a go. Down the Mistral straight. And look at the overspeed. It is ridiculous how powerful DRS is. Unbelievable. There's absolutely nothing Chip could do in that situation. Nothing. Other than just let it happen. And it seems Andre is pitted onto a set of hards. He'll be trying to go to the end of those. Tyre graphics in there. Roscoe Arm, Pump and BP. That's the top 3 in reverse order. You can see that Pump and Roscoe Arm are steadily losing time as Plevs goes into the... No! He's spun! I thought he might have been going into the pit lane. No, he spun. Oh, Silverfork's in the pit zone. Wonder if the two have anything to do with one another. Don't know. They both spun. Rather, Pleb spun and Silverfork. He was in and around Pleb, so... Bit of understeer there on Josh's car. Front wing looks okay though. This looked like when he turned in, the front end just didn't really want to cooperate. ACW closing in up Chip. Look at that. That is insane. Yeah, there goes ACW. Chip just nothing. He just sits there and goes, oh well, here's my fate. Nothing I can do. Just have to deal with it. Down the second half of the Mistral straight. Round turn 10. These players there using the full width of the circuit. Trying to open up the corner as much as possible. To try and carry as much speed as possible. He does have to be a tad bit careful with those curves. It's the same with curbs generally. You never know when they can catch you out. Oh, well, some of the leaders are in. Those who started on the soft tyre are coming into the pits. See what they pit onto. Keeg stays out for another lap. He doesn't want to get double stacked, and he's on the medium tyre, so he's going to go longer. There's ACW and Plevs. So some pitting for hards. Roscoe pitted onto mediums as a suggested strategy pointed out. Ferrari Pro onto hards, Hilles onto hards, Silverfork. He's on the hard tyre as well when he made his pit stop earlier. And he comes out in P12 in behind that train. Actually, look at this. The Pump, Roscoe Rude, Josh Sambon, Ferrari Pro, Silverfork. All of these cars just in a long train. I don't know. Roscoe getting a 3-second time penalty. As ACW is working his way on the Ferrari here as Ferrari Pro overtakes Josh Sambon for P10. Yeah, not quite close enough, eh? Not quite close enough. What about Rude and Ferrari Pro? Ooh, they're awfully close. Around turn 9. Ferrari Pro should get a better exit and does. And Rude trying to get out of the way there. Briefly cut in front of Ferrari Pro, but his intentions were to get out of the way. Silverfork down the inside at turn 10. Josh gives him plenty of room. Singaporean driver is into P11. Bags, Chip, making their way round turn 11. Bags recovering from a spin earlier in the race. He's on slightly older rubber, but those hard tyres should feel pretty good still. Wonderful, closing in. Rude has DRS. Oh, what does he do? Stays behind. Yellow flags are out. That's Andre having a moment. As Bags gets Chip, Silderford gets Rude as well at the exit of turn 2. Down the Mistral straight, ACW gets Keegdu. Now, here comes Plez to take P3 away from the Ferrari. Through turn 8, then turn 9. See there, Plez doesn't have a great deal of battery. Only 9%. ACW has 20. Keeg has 19. Roscoe Arm has P7. He's taken it away from Pump. You see there, 59%. Pump on 36. Ferrari Pro 20 odd. Silverford on 40 odd. Got Sambin on the back of Brood here. As BP pits, will be moving on to the hard tyre. Oh, hit the back. He didn't look like he was fully in control of the car there, Josh. Neither is Rude. If he gets a warning, and there goes Hilles out of nowhere. Hilles from stage right takes P12. Then he took P11. Like that. He's pitted onto another set of mediums. Oh. So he's two-stopping. I didn't think the two-stop was particularly good here. I'm probably wrong though. Yeah. But yeah, he started on the mediums. He's on another set of mediums. Here's your provisional leaders. So he needs to build up a pit stop gap over this lot. Won't be easy. Roscoe Arm is a pretty solid operator. So is Pump Ferrari Pro. So it won't be easy. Need to push pretty hard. Yeah. Around turn 10. Not a great camera shot as when the cars enter the frame, the leaderboard is covering them. Doesn't help that the leaderboard is ginormous. It's a properly big leaderboard. Plebs getting a tad bit closer, but a little bit closer here and there. Coming around the final corner. Yeah, well, boy, it is a bit odd doing a two-stop. I suppose we'll find out how it fares for him towards the end. Like, he's done 10 laps on the medium tyre now. He'll do about 10 or 11 this stint. He needs to pull out 1.5 seconds, 2 seconds a lap. All that time he can't find it, well, he's going to have to try and find it on the soft tyre. And that won't be easy, because you have to cut through traffic. That's never easy. Battle for the provisional lead. Between Roscoe Arm and Pump. 0.5 seconds separating the two. Ferrari Pro is only 1.5 seconds behind, make that 1.3 seconds behind Pump in P9. Bit of a gap to Silverford, 3 seconds in fact. I don't think he'll be in this fight. Hello, BP. He makes his way through the shop. There he is again. He needs to continue to build that margin, and he's got 2.6 seconds on Roscoe Arm, so he is building that margin, but he needs to keep this up for a while. BP, if he continues with that sort of pace, he will arrive to some traffic as Ghost Rider gets a 3-second time penalty. The first of which is Blackman in the Aston Martin, who recently revealed their livery. Quite a smick looking design. Always gotta love British Racing Green. As BP sets a new fastest lap of 32.3. Yeah, the British Racing Green plus the light green, almost tennis ball green, works quite well. more traditional Aston Martin design. What's Josh pitting onto? Probably a set of parts. Let's find out. Coming up towards his pit stall shortly. We'll more than likely pit onto the hard tire. Yep, there they are, set of parts. He'll go to the end on those. Not too many battles going on at the moment. Closing in on the halfway mark, and we haven't had a single safety car. Not a single retirement either, if you don't count the disconnected power socket. Pump still working away a little bit. Trying to catch up to Roscoe. Ferrari Pro is closed in. The gap used to be about 1.3. It's now 1.1. So Ferrari Pro has got pace. It's got good pace. And no penalties too. Bags, Rude, very close to one another. Heading down towards turn 11. No attack there from Bags. Liddell, he stays behind Rude. Ooh, understeer there. At the mid part of turn 11. What are you putting on to, plebs? Set of hard tyres. BP gets by Blackman. Really? Interesting. How did he get by? Probably down the main straight, I'd say. As Keeg Duke has left the session, oh dear. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin. Through turn 1, then turn 2. Rude is under a lot of pressure. He's dumping a fair bit of his battery as well. He doesn't have much left as G-Force Zach overtakes the AI of Keeg Duke. Hopefully he'll be able to rejoin ASAP. Otherwise he'll continue to lose time hand over fist. Oh, Rudy's going to run out of battery. This isn't good. And here comes Bags. Down the inside, into the chicane. He gets it done. He's into P12. Yeah, Key's losing a whole heap of time with his AI just dawdling about the racetrack. Really unfortunate. He is even on fuel, I've noticed as well. You can tell from the yellow fuel icon in the bottom right. As the AI pits. Oh no. Oh no. This is not good. Oh, and he's rejoined. Oh yeah. What time is it? Oh, what will it pit him onto? Oh no. Oh, set us off. Oh. Can he go to the end? Oh, surely he can go. Well, he can try and go to the end on those. Oh no. Oh no. Not good. Very not good. Well, Keith. Good news is you got fresh tyres on your car. Bad news is the soft tyres. Good luck getting to the end. Yeah. As the AI tries to battle with Chip, and now he's reconnected with his car. BP overtakes G-Force Zach. That was with DRS, fairly simple overtake. Ah, I'm blind! I've got no interval. I have to guess where the action is. As Roscoe Arm overtakes Black Moon, Pump is next. He would want to get by as soon as possible. Hello, Ferrari. Oh, AI Ferrari. Around turn 10 we go. To turn 11. Badge gets a 3-second time penalty. Oh dear. Nice run there from Pump. Oh, will he send it? Oh, I reckon he thought about it. He definitely thought about it. He saw a gap. Racing driver instincts kicked in. First gear at the apex of the hairpin. Short shifting up to 4th to get the traction down. Hello, Ferrari Pro. How are you doing? All right. There goes Pump. Here comes Ferrari Pro. He doesn't have the momentum to send it into 1, so he'll stay behind. You can see the clouds getting a lot closer. It's a lot more overcast. But according to Ferrari Pro's weather report, the rain should stay away. So Plevs on the back of Hilles. 3/10 separating the two. They got half a second. 10-7. And here comes the McLaren. Sorry, Hilles, there's not much you can do, buddy. Whooshka. There he goes. Into 9th. There's nothing you can do. Ferrari Pro and Pump making their way around turn 10. Suddenly see a very grey filter go over the racetrack. Doesn't really help the circuit's vibe considering how much grey already exists here at Circuit Paul Ricard. Like I said before, it's quite literally a tarmac lake. It's insane. Around the final corner. Onto the main straightaway once again. Ferrari Pro is close. I don't think he's close enough to try and attack. I just want to quickly check something. I'll use the leader to help me out. So BP is about 6 seconds. We'll round that up. Roscoe it's about 5.6 seconds between Roscoe Arm and BP. About 5.8. So BP hasn't really found time. The second medium run. He hasn't found too much time at all compared to those he's battling. Still, it'll be interesting to see how he fares towards the end when the strategies hopefully all come together and have a nice battle towards the end. See their Pump using a fair bit of battery. Ferrari Pro has roughly the same amount, so it's a fairly even battle as they go around turn 11. There's Zach, Roscoe Arm, Pump and Ferrari Pro. P3 down to P6. Yes, it is, KD. DRS is stupid. It is unbelievably powerful. If you don't have it, you lose a significant amount of time per lap. Black Moon into the pits. He'll be going on to the soft tyre. I reckon ACW and GeForce Zach will be doing the same when they make their stops. It's just a matter of when do they pit. Might try and stretch it out till the safety car comes out, if there is a safety car. Silverfoot just minding his own business. Then Plebs. Hilles, these still fairly well spread apart, so we'll stick with this. Just seeing if there were any other battles that aren't really. The gaps are pretty spread out. Alright, Roscoe Arm. What's he going to do? Leaves the inside open. Pump goes... Oh, dearie me. Pump sort of goes through. He's side by side with Roscoe Arm at the exit of turn 9 as they head on to the Mistral straight once again. And there goes Ferrari Pro. He's trying to look down the inside of 10, but he doesn't go for the move, which is a wise thing. Into turn 11. Ferrari Pro looking left and right, but he's unable to find a way past the Mercedes. Roscoe Arm, he's lost 2 positions in the matter of 2 corners. He was awfully wide at turn 8. I wonder if Pump and Roscoe Arm made contact at turn 8. Because Roscoe Arm left that inside line wide open. So I don't think he would have driven himself wide. I reckon they made contact. Here comes Ferrari Pro, look at that. The overspeed. Ferrari Pro takes 4th. That is the provisional lead as Pump makes a mistake through 2. And look at the gap increase to 7.5 tenths between Ferrari Pro and Pump. Pump needs to stay with Ferrari Pro. He desperately needs to stay within 1 second of the Ferrari. He cannot let him slip. Both cars will have DRS as they head on to the Mistral straight. Pro will get it because of Zach in front. And Pump, he is on the fringe. He is on the fringe of losing DRS. Through turn 8. Then turn 9. The gap is hovering just a little under, then a little over 1 second. Now it's steadily creeping more and more over. He needs a mega third sector. Needs to find 3 tenths as Keeju overtakes Bags Liddell. I saw that for 10th. Come on, Pump. Gotta keep the fight alive. He's almost within a second. Here's the DRS detection zone. I think he's got it. I think it was very close. As G-Force Zach goes into the pit lane, he'll be hopping onto the soft tyre. Onto the main straight. Does he have it? Yes, he does. Ferrari Pro, he has it as well. Hello. Oh, no. Oh, they're lap cars battling. Right. Ghost Rider gets a 3-second time penalty. That must be Ghost Rider and Andre in front. Now, Ferrari Pro, he can do himself a... No, it's Powerside, sorry. Powerside, the AI. Now, Ferrari Pro, he'll benefit from this. He'll get DRS because of the lap cars. And pull even further away from Pump. Bit of fortune going Ferrari Pro's way, but he's put himself in a position where he can get a bit of fortune, a bit of luck on his side. Look at that gap now, 1.7 seconds as Pump is falling back into the clutches of Roscoe, who probably isn't too impressed. Letting Ferrari Pro go like that. I'm still not sure whether Pump and Roscoe made contact at turn 8, but I just can't help but feel they did. Yellow flags are about. That's Ghost Rider. With a spin. It's pointed back in the right direction as ACW goes in the pit lane, crawling his way through the pit lane. Look how slow it is. Ugh. So lethargic and slow. There goes Ferrari Pro. Off into the distance. Pump gets a bit of luck with some lap traffic, getting a bit of DRS. Try and hold off Roscoe as Rude gets a 3-second time penalty. Through turn 3, then turn 4. Then again we get to see the hypnotic nature of the circuit with all of its colourful lines. Exiting turn 6 around turn 7. Roscoe is within half a second. Actually, no, he's not. He's just over half a second. Now he's within half a second. Here he comes. And he switches off DRS. Ooh. Interesting. What's his game plan? Stay behind, save battery? That's the only thing I can think of. Silverfort, Plebs and Hillers. We've got a battle here. Now, Plebs had a spin earlier. He's been recovering throughout the race because of that spin. G-Force Sack overtakes Keeju. Josh Salmon gets a 3-second time penalty as well. There's a little thought bubble inside my head that Silverfort and Plebs might have come together at pit entry. I'm not sure, but they were pretty much next to each other on the racetrack before Plebs pit, and suddenly Plebs was sideways and Silverfort was in pit lane, so BP is in as well. He's moving on to the soft tyre. And he comes, and on they go. Got a lot of work to do. He'll come out behind this incredibly long train. So it's Silverfort, Plebs, Hillers, and ACW is on the back of this too. They head through turn 2 towards turns 3, 4, and 5. There we go. There's a lap car. Power sight. See the innards of a AlphaTauri there. Around turn 7 onto the straightaway. Watch that orange car become bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. Here he comes. Coming up towards the chicane too. He's looking to the inside. He's got it done. A nice send there from Plebs. He's into P4. There's ACW. He wants a piece of the action. Coming up and around turn 10. Silderford is very close to the McLaren. Oh, covering the inside, but ACW doesn't care. He's sending it around the long way. Exiting turn 11, ACW's done it. He's into 5th. Now his next target is Plebs. And on those fresh, soft compound tyres, he's going to be awfully rapid. There won't be much Plebs can do. Here we go. The RS open. Battery being used. Down the inside. ACW sets the fastest lap and takes 4th. Plebs slots back in behind. He needs to try and keep up with ACW here as best he can. The Alpha got a bit sideways there, but look at the speed, look at the power. He's already opened up a few tenths over Plebs for a matter of only a couple of corners as BP overtakes Hilles for P7. He's on fresh tyres too. He just gave himself a 3-second time penalty. Pump on the back of Roscoe Arm. Down the Mistral straight towards the Mistral chicane. And Pump gets him into P2. Plebs, he got DRS, which will help him out, but ACW will just drive away as Plebs makes a mistake at the exit of 9. The back end steps out, but he controls the car well. Points it back in the right direction. As Silverford is very close. He is awfully close. Coming up and around turn 11, he stays behind the McLaren. Turn 11 really isn't an overtaking spot. If I'm perfectly honest, it tends to get quite nasty when you see cars go side by side through them. Exiting turn 12, around turn 13, BP is close, and he's going for it. He's drawn alongside the Red Bull, and he swoops around the long way to take P6. Awesome stuff from BP. Great commitment, but ultimately it just shows the raw grip of fresh tyres. Can be committed. As BP sets a new fastest lap, a 31.091. He now sets his sights on ACW. These up. They are going to play a part in the results of this race. A lot of drivers with penalties, but a lot of drivers who don't have any yet. So we're going to see a fair old shake-up of the final results as Keegju gets a 3-second time penalty. BP's almost within a second. He's just missing out. Roscoe Arm not using any DRS. Doesn't bother trying to fight Pump just yet. ACW looms larger in P4. You can sniff a podium. You can sniff a second place from that distance. Going around turn 10. And into turn 11. So that battle for P2 currently will more than likely be the battle for the final podium spot. Plebs is close, but he's steadily losing ground, I think, to Roscoe Arm and Pump. So I don't think he's quite in that battle for the final podium spot. We'll find out. We'll find out. Meanwhile, out in front, Ferrari Pro is love and light. He's won the past 2 races at Montreal and Silverstone. He's got a healthy 6.5 second buffer to the car behind and a very, very clear track in front of him. But as we saw with ACW, the race isn't over until you see the checkered flag. So he needs to be mindful. Yellow flags are out. It's Josh who was spun. And I think with the amount of laps remaining, we won't see a safety car. So it's going to be green flag racing from lights out to the checkered. Now all these strategies are coming together. Pump and Roscoe Arm still having at it. ACW and BP now getting in on the fight. So it's a 4-way battle for second place on track. Penalties will ultimately play a part in the final result. I'm sure all of these guys would like to finish second on track. It is a nice feeling to finish ahead of your rivals on track. Exiting turn 11 down towards turn 12. BP sends it down the inside at 12. And he moves himself into 4th. Around turn 13. I don't think ACW will mind that too much. He just needs to keep it within the white lines, not make any mistakes. He's pretty much set for second. Down the main straight we go. BP tries to draw alongside Roscoe Arm as they head towards turn 1. Roscoe Arm, though, it's a wise driver, hangs onto the inside line. The two are making contact, though, through 1 and 2. And they both collectively lose a fair bit of time to pump. Around turn 3, BP has the inside line for 4. Roscoe Arm, though, is having none of it. He hangs on to 3rd. Meanwhile, Pump is loving this as BP goes up the inside at 6 and pushes Roscoe Arm off the circuit. Through 7. Onto the Mistral straight once again. Roscoe Arm has lost a fair bit of time, but he still has DR. Oh, and Pump has left the session. He has left the session with 1.5 laps to go. G4 Zach, a 3-second time penalty. Multiple warnings. Oh, no. Who's going to claim that final podium spot then? Will it still be Pump? He's not behind the wheel. He's going to lose so much time. BP takes second. Could Plevs end up taking it? He still has no penalty next to his name as ACW moves to 3rd. Pump tumbling down through the order. He needs to rejoin ASAP. But right now, would be incredibly ideal. There goes Roscoe Arm into 4th. Plebs, he's now in the hot seat to potentially take 3rd place, which would be quite something considering he spun earlier in the race. Ferrari Pro coming around turn 5. It's been a superb drive from Ferrari Pro. He's just kept completely out of trouble, doing his own thing. Plebs has taken 5th. Hilles has got a 3-second time penalty. And there's nothing but a clear track in front of him from here to the checkered flag. He's looking at 3 on the bounce. He'll look to extend his championship lead over ACW, who himself will score a healthy bag of points with a P2 finish. Around turn 11 for the final time. Heading around turn 12. Just needs to keep it within the white lines, not make any mistakes. He doesn't need to push. Just needs to drive it to the flag. Around the final corner now, nice and steady. He's done it. It's 3 on the trot for Ferrari Pro. He won in Canada, he wins in Britain, he wins in France. Well done, Ferrari Pro, the winner of the French Grand Prix. ACW will end up taking 2nd, and the final podium spot will go to Plebs in the McLaren. Silverfort in 4th, then BP in 5th. Pump will finish P6. It could have been a podium, but an unfortunate disconnect will result in finishing in 6th. Hilles in 7th, Roscoe Arm in 8th, Zach in 9th, and Bags Liddell rounds out the top 10. Then it'll be Black Moon in P11, then Key Duke in 12th. Chip in 13th, only by 20 thousandths of a second. It's pretty close. We've got Metz, Rude, and Andre. They're battling for the final point scoring spots. Remember, the top 15 score points in Race Spec, and Andre is set to capitalise fairly big on this, as the 2 in front of him had 6-second time penalty, so he'll gain 2 places and finish in 14th. Metz will finish in 15th, then Rude in 16th. Just be waiting on our final finisher, Josh Sandin, finishing 17th place. Not a bad one here at Paul Ricard. Not bad at all. There we are. Driver of the day, who gets it? ACW started from 11th, finished 2nd, so yeah, fair. But everyone, here is the podium celebration. For the third time in a row, the man in the red suit has stood on the top step. Ferrari Pro having one hell of a winning streak. ACW, he'll be pretty happy with second from starting 11th. And players, I think he'll be pretty happy with the final podium spot, considering he spun earlier in the race. The rest of the results look like Silverfort in 4th, BP with fastest lap in 5th, Pump in P6, what could have been for Pump. Really unfortunate for him. Hillez in 7th, Roscoe Arm in 8th, G for Zach in 9th, and Bags rounds out the top 10. Zach making up a fair few places over the course of the race too. Look at that, making up 7. Good effort there. Black Moon 11th, King Duke in 12th, Chip in 13th, Andre 14th, Matt's our final point scorer in 15th. We have Rude, Josh Sandburn, Parasite, and Ghost Rider. Not a single retirement over the course of this one, which is actually fantastic. Testament, I suppose, to the sheer width of the racetrack. Because if you are going to retire here, it's going to take one mighty accident in order to do that. But considering this went rather smoothly, we'll be able to do interviews, because I'm in a good mood. Unlike last week, where it took an eternity. I can smell pork as well. Dinner is waiting for me. Can't wait to have some pork. Love pork. Right. Get to the car showroom. Put them onto the Ferrari. There we are. Now I'll be back in a few moments. They are all added. Now it's just a waiting game. Oh. Oh no. Nice green flag to checkered flag race. Hello, plebs.
Hello.
How are you?
Hey, I'm a bit sweaty.
I imagine coming back from that spin.
Yeah, I was a bit filthy about that. I think I maybe could have, at least fought for the win, but oh well, still, like, recovered to a podium. It's not bad, I guess.
What happened in that spin?
I struggled, like, I don't think I did enough, like, quali practice last, but I didn't really practice the race, and in the race, that particular corner I spun at, I was kind of struggling with all race, because the car balance was just, like, really light through there, and I just lost it, and I couldn't gather it up.
Interesting.
So, yeah, anyway, I thought about pitting straight away, but I thought, oh no, I'll keep going kind of thing, but yeah, oh well, my hard steam was much better. But, yeah.
But, no, I thought maybe you and Silverfort came together, because I thought it was quite a...
No, it was all on my own. Just ran out of talent, as Lando puts it, so...
Well, you gathered it back pretty decently, you finished on the podium, so...
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's my first one. I haven't been doing too well in Elite Series for some reason, but, yeah, I like France, it's one of my better tracks, and, yeah, I knew I could keep it pretty clean and not pick up any penalties. I did have 2 warnings from lap 11, so it was pretty touch and go from there. But yeah, I wanted to. I didn't really want to qualify on the mediums. I did the lap on the mediums to see what the pace was like. Like if I was top, I don't know, 4, 5, or 6 on the mediums, I'd probably keep it. But then I ended up P8 or 9. I can't remember. 9, I think. And yeah, I just didn't give myself enough time to do a soft run at the end, so I was a bit dirty about that. I think I easily would have got the pole. I was doing 28s in practice, so yeah, it was frustrating, and then made the mistake in the race. But yeah, I think the race win was there, but just didn't execute essentially.
Oh, that's racing. You know,
Yep.
you can have preset plans, you can practice all you like, but then something happens in the race, and you have to completely rethink the whole race. But
Yeah,
you
that's
did
right.
recover pretty damn well to finish on the podium, and that no penalties was a great effort. A lot of people have
Yeah,
penalties
it's very
tonight.
difficult.
So,
A lot of places you can get your warnings and stuff. So.
but no, I noticed you retired at the end of qualifying with about 1:06 left on the clock. I reckon if you cut everything, you probably would have made it, but you probably had a word or two from the stewards.
Well, when you write the rules, you got to obey the rules.
That's
so
it.
I can't do that. I got to set the example. But that's the cost. I just just didn't give myself that extra 30 seconds I needed, unfortunately. But yeah, anyway.
Fair enough. Next week's Spa, what's your thoughts?
I'd be pretty confident again. I think I got pole last season at Spa.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and I like the track. I like the track, but I don't really love it in this game. Like it's weird. It's like obviously Spa's awesome, but I don't think they do a great job of it in the F1 game. Like I play a lot of iRacing, and it's quite a lot better on that.
Mm-hmm.
And like the auto spin curves and stuff. So you got to be very careful.
I was going to say, curves are a bit different from iRacing to F1.
The bump as well.
It's a bit of a shame. Oh yeah, that bump. I'm not running out there ever again. Let me tell you. But yeah, it's still fun. Like it's good. It's good for racing still. So that's the main thing.
Well, that's good to hear. Well, hopefully this podium will lead to good omens later on in the season.
Yeah, something to build on, at least.
That's it. But congratulations on your first
Thank
podium
you.
finish, Blitz. Congrats on the P3.
Cheers.
We'll move on to P2, ACW. Not a bad effort from you. P11 back to P2 at the end there. Just take us through what happened during qualifying for you to end up 11th.
Oh, I planned it.
Oh,
I didn't want to start softs because it just felt bad.
fair enough.
No, I saw in the PSGO and WR that hard soft was like the way to go.
Yep.
So I was just like, alright, I'll just do that then.
Fair enough.
We'll send it because new pedals, still getting used to it.
I was about to mention what happened back at Silverstone. I couldn't quite believe what I saw. I thought, I couldn't comprehend it because you went off in such a unique spot. I thought you must have been helped off or something. And then you were doing donuts in the gravel. I'm like, are you mad or something? Are you just angry? Are you venting? No, having a disconnected throttle makes
The spring broke on the accelerator, so it was jammed.
Yikes.
So I couldn't get out of the gravel.
Yeah.
I had to pause the game and let the AI do it,
Yeah.
which took a very long time.
But you got new set? Different sets or the same set of pedals?
Different.
What you got?
I think the T3 PA.
Fair enough. But how did the race go for you here at Ricard?
Race pace was good, but it could have easily been the win. I got held up in too much traffic.
Yep.
I had a good start, got into turn one, and then New Zealand Andre's car spun right in front of me,
Yep.
and then it wouldn't ghost, and I had to full slam brake and lost like 5 positions.
I was going to say that I noticed you were down quite a few positions off the start. That does make sense why you lost that then.
Yeah, that definitely cost me a lot of time, which could put me like up where Ferrari was easily. But oh well, it's racing.
Yeah, that's
People are not gonna let me buy.
Oh, no. They're entitled to try and fight for position like anyone else is. But
Exactly.
like what I asked the plebs, next week is Spa. What is your thoughts?
It's quite enjoyable, but obviously, auto spin curbs and
Yeah,
the
I know.
bumps.
They always take away from the experience. As soon as you breathe on a curb, it's just whoop, there goes the car. Into a wall, race over. Go home. That sort of deal. It's great fun.
Yeah.
But no, congratulations on your P2 finish tonight, ACW. And driver of the day as well, so congrats.
Yeah.
But we'll move on to our race winner. 3 on the bounce, Ferrari Pro. Not a bad effort, eh?
Oh, mate, it's pretty bloody good.
Yeah, I reckon.
I'm feeling like Vettel right now. Back in 2013, I was like crossing the line, and I was like, oh my god, is this happening?
It's just perfection out there on track. You've driven very well for the past 3. Granted, you got a bit of luck with ACW's technical problems, but no, you drove very, very well tonight. But throughout qualifying, you were setting a pretty decent pace, and then towards the end, you were on an outlap, and then you go back into the pits, and you told me you were saving your tyres for the race.
My dumb ass felt like, sorry for the language, but like I thought those tyres that went out on to go back in the pits, I was going to use them, but I completely forgot the tyre you set the time on. You have to use them, so
Fair enough.
Yeah, I wasn't really thinking at the time.
Oh, that's alright. You still qualified up towards the front in 4th. You were scrapping away there at the front for a bit. How was that race for you, personally?
I reckon, yeah, it was pretty good. I had to fight for a bit in the hards because, well, I felt a lot of understeer like for the first 2 laps. That's not just because of tyre wear, it's because my wings. I was running 10.9.
Jesus.
I wasn't up for that, so I flicked it back to 9.9, and then seen the work out.
Yep.
Then I went on the hards, and then yeah, went pretty solid, I reckon.
Well, yeah, that second stint, you were a long way in front. Ever since you got past Pump and Roscoe on, then you got a bit of luck with the lap traffic giving you DRS to pull away. Then you were long gone. You just disappeared from those 2.
And I actually thought that ACW like would have got within a fair reach of me, and I was like thinking the whole time, Ferrari, just don't get a penalty, like please, Ferrari, don't get a penalty.
Yep, fair enough. Fair enough. They're quite easy to get.
Yeah.
But in a similar vein to the past 2, next week, Spa. Thoughts?
Yeah, it'll be a pretty good one as long as we don't have a 1998 start. I'll be pretty happy.
Well, if we have a 98 start, can't wait for the red flag to come out. Gee whiz.
I doubt we will. We're all sensible drivers in here. But
oh, even sensible drivers can have moments.
Yeah, true.
Especially at Spa, of all places. There are too many areas where you can have just a little moment that amplifies into a big one, just because it's Spa. So.
But I have a really good setup around there for my likings and that. So yeah, okay. Looking forward to it.
Well, good to hear that you're nice and confident for next week then. So congratulations on your victory today and your 3rd victory in the road. That will extend your championship lead. So I'm looking forward to the battle between you 2 at the moment. We'll see if any more people will get involved. Maybe you plebs, if you can get a couple of results together. Maybe. I suppose we'll find out.
Yeah, we'll see. There's plenty of races to go, so
That's it.
Never know.
Gotta be optimistic, man. You're always in the championship fight, unless you're mathematically out of it. Then, yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, thank you very for joining me here, answering a couple of questions I have, and congratulations on finishing on the podium. But I think, chat, everyone else watching post-race, I think that will wrap up the stream. A healthy one, I think it's the best way I could describe it. Not a single safety car or virtual safety car in sight here in Le Castellet, which is awfully nice, and not, well, barring Power Sight's disconnect, everyone who started finished, so it's really great. But I think with everything said and done, it's time to wrap up the stream. Tune in throughout the week, as there's still plenty of racing to come here on Race Spec Esports, but for Pacific Elite, we'll have to wait until next week. Until then, I've been Lane Everingham. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you for round 6 of the championship at Circuit de Spa Francorchamps for the Belgian Grand Prix. Goodbye.